How's it hanging? How's it happen? You guys know who this is. This is Kevin from the Chord Progression Podcast. The podcast Rolling Stone magazine says initiates profound discussions with rock and metal artists, allowing fans to discover the creative workflow of their favorite musicians and understand the factors that make the band succeed or fall from fame. We are all sponsored by Dark Fusion Systems, the best for your custom computing needs. Get $100 off your entire bill. Use code CVPod at darkfusionsystems.com. Link to the podcast below. Let's go to our feature presentation. Not once, not twice, but thrice. This band from Philly Records coming on the podcast. It is Catch Your Breath, and you know it's going to be a good time. We talk about the upcoming tour they have with Dayseeker, because it's a big one. Then, in 2025, they're going and headlining over in Europe. So we talk about the growth of the band. We talk about their upcoming release of the deluxe edition of Shame on Me with a song that apparently is going to make me cry during Louder Than Life in the middle of Pit during Lorna Shore and Slayer, just thinking about it. And we noticed something about dial tone that shakes us to the core. You guys ready? Let's go! Yeah. Well, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, listeners of the Chord Progression Podcast. Not only have we at the Chord Progression Podcast interviewed every single band from Thriller Records, but we're running it back once again. And with this band, this is our third time running it back with them. And I couldn't be happier because I always love bringing these guys on to the podcast. Their massive hit album, Shame on Me, released last year. And on September 27th, you get the deluxe version of it as well, coming out with a couple of brand new songs and some that'll hit you. And there's one I know that's in there that might make me cry in the pit, literally. But we'll see what happens on that one. Beyond that, they're going to be going on tour with Dayseeker, and they're headlining a run in Europe next year. So why not catch up with a band that is going absolutely gangbusters right now? So please welcome back Onel, Keenan, and Teddy from Catch Your Breath. So guys, welcome back.
Hello. Good to be back.
What's up?
It's good to have you guys back. How are all three of you doing right now, especially leading into not only the release of the deluxe album, but also, I mean, you guys are going to be going on tour supporting Dayseeker and then going like over to Europe next year. Like your world's got to be running wild right now.
Yeah.
I'm super excited, man. Dayseeker is a band we've all been really looking forward to and hoping to tour with someday. So now it's another dream coming down the pipeline, you know? So excited.
I mean, if I were you, I'd be too, especially seeing how big Dayseeker has gotten. Not only that, though, but like the Dayseeker fans and especially how they connect with Dayseeker's music. I think it's going to be incredibly easy for them to really jump into Catch Your Breath right from the jump, right when they hear you guys live, especially if they don't know you already. Or if they've heard of you and haven't given you a shot yet, they're going to have to at this point, and they're going to have no choice but to really get into it.
Teddy, you want to take that one?
Yeah. I think our song choices for the set are going to be perfect for the entire run with everybody, especially the Dayseeker crowd, especially since we're playing two new songs off the deluxe album that we're dropping, and one of them being our biggest sad one that we've done. You know, we gotta try to compete with the Dayseeker songs. I'm just kidding. Spicy sadness. But you know, I've listened to Dayseeker for a long time. They're a big inspiration to me back when I was not younger, but back in the day. And it's just so cool that the band that I listened to like before like anything happened. Now they're taking us on tour. It's like that's pretty fucking sick. So
as far as like the song choices, man, it was purposely picked to kind of tell a story a little bit. So this upcoming tour that when we are on stage, it's gonna be a little bit different. But we think that the fans are gonna really enjoy it.
All right, I got to get a little bit more on that because knowing the music that you guys make, you definitely can tell a story with it. But especially you're putting into your set and creating that, not only does it absolutely match with the overall fans of Dayseeker, where you're going to create that story and they're going to be able to jump right into it and get into it emotionally because they're already ready to do that, getting ready to see Dayseeker. But I have no idea exactly what this set list is going to compose of or how this is all going to turn out. So I'm very curious as to how are you going to put this together to tell an incredible story that people are going to absolutely feel at these shows?
Yeah, I think what we did is basically, well, we got to have our hits towards the end.
Emotional triggers.
But the way we ordered them tells a story of like, you know, this song is about feeling this way, and then it turns into feeling like this way because you're done feeling that way. It's kind of like the stages of grief or stages of whatever. It's like you feel a certain way, and then you feel another way, and then at the end you feel this way. And it's like you're like, I don't want to give too much away, but it's all connected in a way that if you pay attention, it's like, wow, it's like very theatrical, very you know, there's a purpose to a set list and not just putting on a set list to put out a set list.
Right.
Well, again, it makes sense too, especially going into the type of crowds that you're going to be going into, especially playing for rather large venues as well, because I know the one that's coming near me when you guys are playing at the Salt Shed in Chicago. I mean, I've seen Ghost Design Under Oath play there. I've seen Knock Loose sell out that venue. I'll be going there for you guys. I'll be going there a couple days later to see the hometown guys in Chicago and Rise Against play a sold out show there. So, and I've seen Sleep Token sell out that place as well. So there's a whole amalgamation of people that are going to be there to first hit each other to King of the Giants, then get in the fields with you guys, then absolutely massacre each other to Alpha Wolf, and then cry to Dayseeker. So it's like you're going to be playing in this massively changing overall emotional style of a crowd, of a set, but at the same time, you guys are put in there. If you're going to also do that as well within the set, it's kind of like, you know, getting emotional squared, just going how, you know, this whole entire tour package is put together.
Yeah, no, we really put a lot of thought into how we're going about this Dayseeker tour, because we all and we want to, you know, and we think they're like a really high, you know, big, you know, class act, and we want to be in that realm of that world as well. And our set list order, our sound, our lights, our production, that's, you know, will help us elevate us to that next level, I think.
I think so too, because every time I've seen you guys play live, you have been able to do that, to always step up your game to every next level and show what's next. From the first time I saw you guys in 2023, we were on the road with Dark Divine and Until I Wake. Then the ill-fated Blue Ridge Rock Fest of 2023, where you guys actually got to play. Seeing the crowd really attach you guys was something incredible. Seeing you guys support for Mash to Do and the Word Alive at the end of the year last year, there were a lot of people that were just flocking in to really get into it with you guys. And even on the Imminence tour, when the show that I saw, Josh wasn't there because his vocals were shot. So it was just, there was no vocals there, but you guys still created an amazing moment going up on stage and creating a moment that the fans still got to be able to connect to. So you've been able to make sure that that's going to continue to happen and enhance that with this tour coming up, but at the same time with a growing stage, growing audience. I mean, it just makes sense that you guys are going to hit this out of the park, especially with your music and your overall mindset around this. Because if you don't, I'm going to be very, very sad. So don't let me down, guys.
No, we won't. We're going all in on this one, and we thought about every detail, so it should be our best show yet, I'd say.
I hope so. And
I'll say this too: like every tour that we come back to, we're always trying to improve something.
Yeah.
So we're always trying to elevate and always trying to improve ourselves individually, also as musicians. So go back to that question, how we were feeling about it, man. I'm super stoked on it because I've been personally taking drum lessons just to improve my craft and sharpen my skills. Because I know I'm not like the best out there, right? So I've been feeling a lot more comfortable, a lot more. I can speak through my instrument a lot more. It feels like, if that makes sense. So I'm excited to show that on this tour.
Fuck yeah.
Hell yeah. Even as the band is continuing to grow, as you guys are continuing to hit all new milestones, which literally before we hit the record button, check the Spotify numbers. You guys were at 2.5 million monthly listeners.
I just checked that right now, dude.
Yeah. That's
I was like, what the fuck?
That's wild, but still, the mindset you have, taking drum lessons and making sure you're honing your craft even further to better your skill set so that live, not only live, but also when you record brand new songs as well, you're enhancing your skills so you can better articulate not only yourself as a drummer, the emotions through it, but come up with new ideas to enhance what you're doing. It's going to show on the tour because, you might be able to improvise a little bit more in certain pieces to absolutely make something stand out more live. Beyond that as well, because you're going to be playing to a bigger audience, but then right after that, next year hits, and you guys are going to be headlining in Europe. So it's a whole new ballgame, a whole new set, a whole new, a whole bunch of new stakes at play. And you're still taking the time to make sure that your craft is as good as possible and that you continue to grow with it so that the band can continue to grow with, all of you guys as well. I am an absolute fan of that move. Incredible, big fan of the move.
Thank you. Yes, sir. Yeah, we took a look at our show and we took a look at ourselves, and we really just realized that we always want to be improving. Being a musician or an artist of any kind is kind of like being a lobster, I say, because, you keep growing on the inside and eventually you reach this wall, and like you have to take a look at yourself and say, okay, what can I do? How can I grow? And then you shed that part of yourself away.
Yeah, exactly.
And you just keep growing and growing, but you always got to look back at yourself. What can you do better? So we're always circling back.
Yep, always. It's always good to review the game tape and then just
yeah, because that's how. It's like you think about, you said game tape. It's how you, if you're a Chiefs fan, then you're happy they're reviewing the game tape because they won the last 2 Super Bowls. If you're not a Chiefs fan, then you're like, guys, why are you not reviewing enough game tape over the past 2 years to beat these guys?
Yeah.
Stupid Minnesota. But on beyond that, it still stands out that you guys, even as the band continues to grow, as you guys continue to hit major milestone after major milestone, not only are you continuing to grow, but at the same time, you're still looking at how can we become better. You're not getting complacent with where you are, when a lot of people, and not only in the music world, but also business, anywhere in the world, when they have that bit of success and they see it build, it's like, okay, whatever I'm doing is working, and they don't grow from there. And then it plateaus, it stops, and then you never get beyond it. You guys are making sure that you have the best chance to continue to grow, and you're doing it. 2.5 million monthly listeners. I think the first time I talked to you guys were maybe over 100,000 because Dial Tone just popped off.
Yeah.
Like, it works.
That's really what it takes to survive in this business. Man, you always have to be adapting and willing to change and take new perspectives on what you used to do that work. Because, what you do now that's like blowing up might be 10 years from now, lame as fuck. Yeah. So you always got to be willing to evolve. That's the thing.
Oh, absolutely. And even like going back to the Imminence tour that you guys were on, it was that ability to continue to learn how to adapt and overcome and grow in these situations. Because like I said, the time I saw you guys, when you guys played in Madison, Josh was not able to go because his vocals were just not there that day. Yet you guys still figured out a way to go on stage, play your full set, and get the crowd engaged into it, which still stands out in my mind as one of the coolest things I've ever seen a band do, given the circumstance of where they were on that day. So I specifically have to ask about that show. How did you pull that off?
Man, I'll be the first one to talk about that one. We were, if I'm being honest, we were all kind of just beat. Like we were all, let's just be real, guys. Like we were all to a point where we just wanted to kind of just take a couple of days off. I was questioning if I should play because I was my entire body was just hurting. We did a tour before that and we didn't stop. So this was our first time doing it like a back-to-back, and as you can tell, if Josh is feeling sick, then the rest of the band is feeling a certain way, because he's sick. We all live on the same bus. We're all touring on the same bus. Mm-hmm. So at some point, all of us are feeling like a certain way as well. So we were all just beat, dude. And we were honestly nervous because of that. We were just like, oh my God, Josh, like, why? You said you were going to be ready. Like, dude, like, now, like, we have, like, okay, we got this. The show must go on. Like,
yeah,
we have to, we can pull it off. Was it another one where we were just like, oh my God, like, my arms feel like they're about to fall off. Yeah, but we still did it. I think it's more because of the fans, dude. Like, you don't realize how much the fans' energy feeds into us. we're just like everyone else. Where we have those emotions, we have those mental blocks, we have those days where we're just like, kind of fed up or whatever. So it's really like what really helped us was knowing that when we did show up there, like the fans were still gonna like show us love, if that makes sense. So
Yeah.
Because of the fans is the reason why we were able to keep doing what we had to do.
Oh, absolutely. And the fans just really played into it too, because not only that, but like when you guys played 21 Guns, when you guys played Dial Tone, so many of those people knew the lyrics too. So it kind of had a little bit of a reminder of like time. I mean, it's going to sound weird, but like it reminded me of watching those videos from the Linkin Park Chester Bennington Memorial Show back in October 2017, where it was like the vocalist isn't there. They played Numb, and then no audio came from anybody in vocals, and the fans just picked up on it and sang the whole thing. It was like something like that with like, not to that level because, I mean, Linkin Park, huge, Chester Bennington, one of the most influential people in music in the 2000 millennium.
Right.
But it's just like, it had a capture of that moment where not only did you guys come out there and give it your best, but people were still connected with music. People knew the music. People knew the lyrics because they were connected to them. So that when you gave it your best shot, even though you weren't feeling your best, we were able to help pick up the slack and make it as good of a show as it possibly could have been, given everything that was going on that day.
Yep. So it was very much appreciated. Trust us.
Because you even got some accolades from one of the other bands that was on that tour with you guys, because I got a chance to catch up with Damon from A Virtue yesterday, and I brought up that I was talking to you guys today, and he's like, oh shit, no way. Like, my God, they were great on that Imminence tour. And he even said, he's like, I remember the show that we were at where they didn't have Josh on there. I'm like, yeah, that was still fun though.
I remember that. Now I remember before we just went full on instrumental, I think we were considering having him sing some of the songs with us, but the reception for our wirelesses was so bad that we're just like, well, fuck, we might as well have one thing. We just know what's going to happen instead of sending him out here too. And he's like, what the hell's going on? Oh man, there was so much going on that day, but we knew that, we owe it to the fans to like try and at least do something for them as much as we can.
Dude, that would have been cool as hell if all of a sudden Damon would have came out and sang. I'd been like, what is happening? This is something I wasn't expecting, but holy shit.
Yeah.
I'll say, well, hopefully when you guys go to Europe, because I know Virtue's going with you guys, if something like that happens, hopefully the wireless packs end up connecting a lot better. So maybe that could actually happen.
Right.
Well, beyond that as well, I know, Teddy, you were not on that Imminence tour, but now you're back on the Dayseeker tour. So specifically on your end, how's it feel to be back with rolling with positivity coming into this Dayseeker tour to, again, make this tour the best tour possible so far? I say so far because I know there's going to be better ones down the line. You guys are constantly getting better, but I want this one to be the best one at this moment, then the European one better, the next one, yada, 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 that kind of stuff. So how's it feel to be back and rolling the positivity once again?
Yeah, man. No, it feels great to be back. There's I've been doing a lot of work to get ready for this Dayseeker tour. I got to make sure everything is, sounding great. All our boxes are checked, and so far it's just been a lot of work, a lot of busy work, a lot of running around just to get ready for this tour. But man, it feels great, and to be back going on the Dayseeker touring on Dayseeker of all bands is like. This is like how it's supposed to be.
Makes sense too. I got to ask you, Onell and Keenan, how's it feel to have Teddy coming back out with you guys, especially for this Dayseeker run? Again, probably the biggest run you've had so far, just given the connection that Dayseeker fans will easily have to your music.
Excited, man. It's going to be like being back home,
Right. Yeah. Like glad to have the boys back, man. The way it's supposed to be.
You guys are going to have to come out, like, starting out to The Boys Are Back in Town, like, by Thin Lizzy.
That's a great idea. I didn't think about doing stuff like that.
Well, think about it. Just, you bring that up, too, because everyone knows that song, and it's just going to get the crowd hyped up, too, to get into it. It's like anytime a band plays, like, the Backstreet Boys or NSYNC before a set, or someone plays Chop Suey by System of a Down, or still my favorite is when people play Numb by Linkin Park, because it's like everyone just gets into it. And it just starts out there. Or if you really want to go nuts, play some Rick Astley and Rickroll, everybody.
Oh my god, that reminds me of the prank that Imminence played on us in the last tour.
Oh,
Oh
what
my
did they
god,
do?
dude! Yeah, that was fucking crazy. So the last day, you know where there's usually like what do they call them? Those banners that
Oh, the LED screen.
Yeah,
There's the big video wall.
Mhm.
yeah. So we were playing, and I guess the TM for them or whatever, Imminence definitely decided to do a prank on all the bands where they would change the logos to different memes, but have our name somehow incorporated within the meme. And it was hilarious, dude. Like you should have been there, but I think there's some pictures online of like when that happened. But it was a great moment, dude. It was definitely a good moment to know that like the Eminence guys are definitely they have like a funny bone and stuff, you know.
No, I got to see if there's any pictures online of these logos with your name and not only that, but if they did to Of Virtue too, it's like I got to see this. I got to find out where it was because
Yeah,
I know
they
I
did,
was
I
on the
think.
last show of the tour.
Yeah, they did it to Virtue as well.
Well, then, did you guys do anything back to him at all, or are you
So
waiting
we
for the
did
next
like the
potential?
headlines. We were already done playing, and like
Yeah, they have it coming. I'll say that.
yeah, we have no control when it comes to that kind of stuff. But it was funny. It like we, you know, it was a good sense of humor.
I didn't even know. There's one picture with me like rocking out, and I thought, I'm being myself, like being serious and like headbanging and shit. And then in the background, there's like that picture of the cat like coughing with the human mouth. It says like "cat catch my breath" or something. I was like,
Yeah, if you go to the Instagram page and look at the tagged photos of the band, I think it's in there.
yeah, it's hilarious.
All right, I'm doing that right after we get done with this because I got to see this because this has got to be funny as hell. But I know you guys got something come back for him, but now are you planning anything good for the Dayseeker tour at all? Or are you just waiting to see anything that comes your way?
We actually have a lot of stuff coming up. I can't say what it is, but your boys are going to be busy, and your boys are stopping anytime soon. So be ready on the lookout for more of Catch Your Breath in the very near future.
Yeah. Well, not only more Catch Your Breath, but I still think one of the biggest things I've ever seen happen, you guys, is the fact that you are going over to Europe in 2025, headlining with Of Virtue and Until I Wake in support. So how did that all come together? Because that is massive.
Virtue is honestly one of the last bands to be able to, because we were kind of like figuring out who we wanted to, was willing to fly over to Europe or support, and we were vibing with A Virtue so well on the Imminence run that we just like, hey, like
it made sense.
Yeah, it just made fucking sense, and it took a little bit of obviously negotiating, but we made it happen. So it was really the relationship that we built with them, being homies. Like we're out to love everyone. You know what I mean? We have no hate bone in our body. So it just, that relationship naturally formed, and we thought it was then their music, dude. It rocks, man. I can't get their stuff out of my head, especially when we were touring. So.
Well, I agree.
They're also super versed at touring in Europe, so it just kind of made sense.
Yeah, they already been out there.
They'll be like our tour guides.
You might not want to have them as your tour guides, because I've heard some insane stories from Damon about some of the stuff that's happened to them, like them almost bankrupting a small casino in somewhere in Eastern Europe. And then one of the guys leaving his laptop in a hotel room in Germany, and they had to try and break back into the hotel James Bond style to get it back, because it had all the presets on it, the whole live show on it. So apparently they like scaled the building to get back into it. I gotta find the episode, because he told me the whole story on it. I'm like, you got any other wild, European stories? And he just looked at me and laughed. He's like, I got one.
Well, it's high time we make our own crazy Europe stories. So
yeah, it's our turn.
Yeah.
It's your turn, but just be careful if the guys in Of Virtue say, hey, let's go to a casino over in Europe, because
be careful, guys.
Something's going to happen. It's probably going to be a great story, but just be careful. That's all I can say.
Oh, we will. We will.
I can't wait. I'll be the first one in line for them.
It's like, hey, does anybody want to go to the casino? And all of a sudden, it's like Ted Ear's gonna end up like flying into the screen like a Looney Tune character, shaking like, hey guys, me, let's go.
No,
Well,
I love blackjack.
just if you bankrupt the casino though, then I'm bringing you guys back on and we're gonna hear the whole story because that just sounds like a great time.
Damn, I don't know if I'm that good, but I'll try my best.
Just channel your inner like Dana White when it comes to playing blackjack. You got this. Well, beyond all the crazy touring and beyond all this great growth from the band, not only that, but the deluxe edition for Shame on Me is coming out on September 27th. I know you got 2 songs out right now, Perfect World featuring Ryan Oakes, and of course, I cannot remember, it's like Ghost in the Shell. I think that's
Ghost
the name
Inside
of
the Shell.
What was it?
Ghost Inside the Shell.
Ghost Inside the Shell. Yeah, I had it written down as something else, and I'm like, I know it's not what I have written down here, but I cannot remember the name. And I know there's more coming out there, but when it came to adding these songs on the deluxe edition, what was the mindset creating these songs? Because these songs absolutely hit on everything that Catch Your Breath is.
Yeah. Honestly, like my life. Honestly, we did all of the songs that we're releasing at the same time with the album. So we made too many good songs, and we're like, what do we do with all this? Like, these are too good not to like help them or throw them away or give it.
They almost did. And like, I think there's like 1 or 2, max 2 songs that we didn't use because one of them sounded similar, and one of those songs was Dying on the Inside. And then there was one that was just like, I think we ran out of time.
Oh yeah, that's right. Yeah, it was like way too like metal. It's like, this is not the fucking Dial Tones band that I grew to love. Yeah, and it was hateful. It was a hateful song. It was like a hateful like.
Right. Yeah, I remember now. It was
Didn't make sense to.
It was a diss. It was a diss track for sure.
Yeah, it just didn't make sense. And then, but yeah, we made too many good songs, and we're like, we can't give them away because they're too good, and it's too many for an album. Deluxe album, let's do that. And the label was like, sounds good, let's do it. And then we did it. And then a year later, or almost a year later, we're releasing the deluxe, and on the first day of the Dayseeker tour. So that's a big
wow. That's gonna be a crazy push.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really good push. And then we're playing songs from the deluxe on the tour. So we hope that people love the new. Well, not new sound, because we did it all together at the same time. That we did the rest of the album.
Favorite, absolute favorite.
But the absolute favorite, and we think is the absolute.
Is most definitely the next album.
Like, yeah, that's the song that we think it's like the next Dial Tone. What Dial Tone did for us, we think this song has potential to do that plus more, since it's a more wider.
It's not exactly what Dial Tone is.
Yeah,
another thing that when we say Dial Tone, we're not saying exactly the same type of vibe. We're talking about when we say Dial Tone, we say like very fucking emotional.
Very emotional,
like super deep emotion, not like barely scratching the surface. We're talking about fucking opening up that wound and fucking putting salt in it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah. And because we have to face our problems, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
you have to learn to say goodbye at some point. So
yeah, especially for me, the song that's releasing the day that the deluxe releases was I remember that day like fully. We were walking in to the studio, we started working on it, and then I got a call from my aunt. So I went to like that conference room by the front door, and she was like, hey, this is like your only time to say goodbye to your grandma before she passes. She probably won't make it. So I, and she was gonna FaceTime me so I can see her and like say goodbye and we could see each other before. But she was like, I don't want you to see her in this. I don't want you to remember her last moments like this because she doesn't look. I don't, this is too bad. And so I just, voiced phone call over, and she didn't talk to me back to me because she was dying. But she remembered my voice and who it was. And I was trying to tell her everything about like, I'm doing good. Dial Tone's doing good. Our song is doing really good on, the charts and stuff and Spotify. It's like, I was like, she was my number one supporter and the band's number one supporter. Before we were called Catch Your Breath, we were called Inertia. And she always bought our stupid like merch and our little one-hitter pipes and stuff. And even though she doesn't use them, she just bought them to support us. And then I think the following day or a couple of days later, we were finishing the song, or Josh was finishing doing vocals for that. And then I got a text that she passed away. So that song is like very most personal to me. And I personally dedicate it to my grandma and my family for helping me get to where we're at today. If it wasn't for them, I really don't know if I'd be here, because they're the ones that helped me get my first music gear and stuff. So that song coming out is everything to me. So.
Well, thankfully you guys are doing a deluxe edition to get these songs out there, because again, they not only encapsulate everything that Catch Your Breath is, but just hearing, especially you tell you what you went through just to, while you were recording that song, that piece of it's going to add so much more emotion to it for you every time you play the song, but also added to it when you were recording it, because now whatever headspace you were in at the time, you're digging deep, you're dealing with some heavy emotions at that point in time. It's adding to the overall authenticity that the song is going to have. So when people hear it for the first time, when they listen to the deluxe edition, or if they hear it for the first time, if you guys are playing it live and making people really feel it, if especially going to be an emotional intensity that Dial Tone had, maybe even more, you might get people to cry harder than Dayseeker is going to throughout their whole entire set.
Yeah, no, I already, like during practice, when I'm practicing at home, dude, I already get choked up and crying during the bridge of that song, because it just takes me back to that place. Because I was stuck at the studio. I didn't have because she was, and my whole family went to Mexico to, visit her and see her last moments. But I was stuck at the studio because I didn't have a passport, so I couldn't just fly over, get in there, and get a plane and fly over, and I couldn't drive because there's no way in hell I'm going to drive by myself from Georgia to Mexico, to deep in Mexico, because I'm just not confident in I don't know Spanish that well. I can translate, but I can't speak it back. So I was just like, it was a really, really rough time, and it was just like the worst. But yeah, I get emotional practicing that song myself, especially when the bridge hits. Especially when the bridge hits, like when it comes out, listen to the bridge, you'll understand why.
Just hearing what you went through, man. I mean, I'm going to listen to the bridge. I'm going to think about kind of like the moments when I last saw my grandpa, because he had COVID and then developed pneumonia from it. We couldn't see him because it was 2021. It was still like, if it was a COVID case, only immediate family could go. So I couldn't. I tried sneaking into the hospital like his last night, because he was a huge Bears fan. I was a huge Vikings fan. They were both playing Monday Night Football. I tried sneaking in just to watch the game with them, and got to the room, somehow saw him, and I'm like, he was just out of it. And it hit me in some other way. And I kind of just remember walking out of there, just like my head down. No one even bothered to stop me or anything. I just walked straight out. But it just, when I hear that bridge now, I can already tell I'm just going to go right back to that moment, and it's just going to hit hard. Like, I'm going to end up I'm probably going to end up with my hands like this, just like struggling. Because the day it comes out, I know I'll be at Large Life. I'll be struggling in the pit, hitting somebody to like Lorna Shore. Like, how did Catch Your Breath fuck me over this bad?
You're going to listen to this song, and then it's gonna make you in that mood for the entire day. You're gonna go and try to go out and do your shit, but then whatever hurts you the most in your life, you're gonna just keep thinking about it, because the song just reopened that wound. It's just gonna fuck with you, dude. But that's what we did. That's who we are. We gotta face our own problems.
You guys are going to rip me open emotionally with this song, and the same day I'm going to be in the back-to-back pit for Lorna Shore and then Slayer. Like, I'm in the Slayer pit crying because of you guys.
I'll be right back. I'll be right back. I need a break from crying.
I need a break from crying. Just start hitting people.
I need to go punch some people.
Rain of Blood starts playing.
I need a fucking roundhouse someone.
You guys are going to get a message to the band account, like, after your first and the Dayseeker tour from me. It just says, fuck you guys, with a crying emoji. It's like, yep, it happened.
Mission accomplished.
Totally what happened.
But that's kind of like I mean, it absolutely, not only, I think, especially the way you guys spoke about it, it's like it grows the sound further, but also it allows us to see some of the direction of where the band is going to continue to go. But it still absolutely impacts on so many of the songs you guys have created, the themes and the emotions and the progressions, how they capture us, where they can constantly let us to go deeper within ourselves, to discover certain things, discover certain emotions about ourselves, and really get a further understanding of who we are within ourselves. It's just somewhere you can absolutely go into Catch Your Breath music. You can go into your music, listen to it, whether it's Dial Tone, Twin Gun Salute, Shame on Me, Ghost Inside the Shell, or Perfect World, or this new one that's coming out, and you can dive deep so heavily within yourself where you can reflect, understand, and feel vulnerable, but also at the same time feel supported, because someone out there, or a lot of people out there at that point in time, are going through similar things, and just knowing that you're not alone in that instance through your music is a beautiful thing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Either they've gone through it or going through it now, or eventually will. And like, holy shit balls! Sorry, I'm looking at Spotify right now, and Dial Tone's at 70 million. Anyways, yeah,
70 million.
Yeah, that just distracted the shit. I'm so sorry.
Okay, just let that sink in. I just let that sink in, not only for everybody listening, but for you guys. You've created a song that at this moment has hit 70 million
it just
streams.
Hit 70 million, dude, because it's 70.1.
Wow.
It's enough to distract me during a conversation, so.
And now I'm completely thrown off at this point, because that is an insane accomplishment. To like, look at what happened literally while we're on this call. 2.5 million monthly listeners on this day. Dial Tone crosses 70 million streams overall. Yep. What other bands can say that or have that impact in the time that you guys have had that impact in the past 2 years? But on top of that, it's an impact that is continuing to show sustainability, an impact they're continuing to grow on, but also is incredibly genuine because of the music that you guys make. Yeah. Like you're not a flash in the pan either, because take a look at, I think there's 2 other songs that are above 10 million streams. I think it's 21 Gun Salute and Shame on Me. I think those 2 also have over 10 million.
Well, we've been keeping a close eye on it because, that's just Spotify, right? But all over, we're a little under 10 million streams now from going gold, across all platforms.
US streams.
Yeah.
No.
And as right now, Perfect World is about to hit 1 million, and it's been maybe a month. So that's fucking.
That's just Spotify. So
yeah, that's just Spotify.
Yeah, that's just Spotify. We don't know what YouTube is. We don't know what Apple Music is. Don't know what any of those other sites are at the moment. But you're 10 million away from Dial Tone getting certified gold.
Yep.
In today's, and this is the maddening part about it in my brain. In today's world, when it comes to bands or artists trying to get that to that point in time, or get a song that's going to hit like that, or going to have something like that, it's so much more difficult because there's no sales. It's mostly streams. And when it comes to streaming, there's a lot of times where if someone clicks on it, they listen to 2 to 3 seconds. If they don't like it, they go back to what they care about, or what they also like, or what's comfortable. But the fact that it's continuing to hit with so many people and continuing to grow over 2 years, and it's almost going to get that certification right now, it will. I can already guarantee the next time we talk, it's going to have that certification. There's no doubt in my mind.
It's projected to hit it by the end of this year.
Yes.
Stay with that little smirk.
Yeah, dude. I'm so proud of that song. I knew this song was something. Dude, I remember taking this song to our producer, and I was like, yo, what do you think about this? He's like, do you have anything else? He's like, yeah. I showed him a bunch of other stuff that the other guys did, and he was like, no, this one. But when you come in, we got to act like these other songs have a chance. But we're doing this song. This is an instrumental that we're going to do. I have something for it already. And he had, Give Me a Reason. And I was like, all right, I'm sold. And then we did it. And then after we were finished doing it, dude, I swear to God, we were listening into the car or something. on going back, like going back to a hotel or something, or I forgot I think it was a hotel.
Yeah, we're going by the hotel. It was late.
It was the Rio?
No, yeah, it was at the Rio. It was late as fuck.
Yeah. Oh yeah, dude, Rio's nice. Back then it was nice. Now it's a shithole.
Hey, at least they have the cuck window in the shower.
I swear that dude, our room when we went didn't have that shit. But but they're renovating. They're under new management. They're gonna bring it back to its glory days. But back then, it was like before COVID.
Mm-hmm.
Or was it during? No, it was after COVID.
Yeah, it'd have been right after, because song would have come out.
Right after or during? I don't remember. But I remember listening to it in the car, and I was like, "This is it. This is it." And I was like, "Yep, this is." It's a hit song. I had all the confidence in the world. Like, I don't care. Like, I had all the confidence that this was it. We just need to push it. We need to get in front of many people's ears, because they're not going to skip the first 3 seconds or the first 10 seconds. So this is great. But we're unsigned. We haven't toured. We haven't played a show yet. We haven't done jack shit. And we did that song. And then a year later, we released that song in like May or June or something of that year that we released it. And then in December, we signed a Thriller. And then December, January, that song blew the fuck up. And it hit number 3 in the world on Spotify. Mm. And now it's still getting like 1 million plus streams a week or something like that.
That still absolutely just blows my mind. I still remember the first time I talked to you guys too and had you on the podcast, because you were like in the studio at that time, and your producer came out and was talking to me about, when you heard Dial Tones, like that was absolutely going to be the hit. Like he knew it right then and there. And It absolutely showed. I mean, it continues to show every step of the way. And it is because it's such a good song, not only from a sonic perspective, but when it comes to the emotional just places that it impacts and the most places that it influences, it just goes so heavy within there that you just open up yourself and you relate to it. It's so easy to just be vulnerable when listening to Dial Tone. It's incredible. And it's all based on not only how you guys wrote the song, how you guys mixed it and mastered it, had it produced, how Josh's vocals hit certain spots. It just all came together so well. Where it going gold by the end of the year, or projected to go gold by the end of the year, it's shocking in the way that it's like, I can't believe it's actually happening. But it's not shocking that this is going to happen, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
No, it's crazy. It's insane to think about. And I am confident in saying how I felt about Dial Tones. It's how I feel about the next song coming out on the Deluxe, and Good and Goodbye. That song, I feel like, if anything, it could do more than what Dial Tone did, because it reaches such a wider demographic, wider audience of its sound and its meaning and message and stuff.
Well, shit. You guys definitely are going to make me cry at Louder Than Life with that thing. Just in the pit. Just, what the hell are they doing to me? Supposed to hit people, not cry here.
We the opposite.
I'll be like SpongeBob. It's like, you guys okay? I made you a sweater with my tears. That'll be me, like, going up to the people that I'm going to the festival with. I'll just be like, I made you guys one too. How much are you crying, dude? A lot. A fucking lot, man. Well, guys, again, the Deluxe album coming out on September 27th, the day the Dayseeker tour starts. And not only that, Dial Tone's expected to be certified gold by the end of the year. And you guys are going into 2025 with a European headliner tour. The fact that the first time I talked to you guys, you had just signed with Thriller, Dial Tone was just popping off, and you guys were about to go on a tour supporting Until I Wake and Dark Divine, and looking at where you've been and where you've gone, where you are now, where you're going, the growth of Catch Your Breath is nothing short of incredible. And it all has to deal with all of you guys constantly trying to push yourselves, constantly trying to get better, constantly trying to hone your craft, constantly trying to make everything better when it comes to audience connection, make sure these songs hit everything. And I cannot wait to bring you guys back on sometime, in 2025, see how everything is going, because maybe there'll be 2 gold songs on that at that point in time. Maybe the monthly listener count will have doubled at that point in time. Maybe I'll finally be done crying from your frickin' song to be able to talk to you guys live. I might take me a couple of months, but we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Hopefully next year will be our biggest year yet.
Hopefully every year coming up will be your biggest year yet. So it just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, to the point where, like, in 2 or 3 years, it's like, oh yeah, I'm going to go see Catch Your Breath. Oh yeah, where are they playing? They're playing an amphitheater that holds like 15,000 people, and they're headlining.
That's the goal, honestly, man.
Huh.
That honestly are the people, the band that we definitely look up to try to achieve that status is Falling Reverse.
Mm-hmm.
So
Yeah.
I'll say that much. So we want to be able to do what he's doing, but catch your breath, right?
Yep. Yeah.
But not forget where we came from, and not make sure that the same vibes, no matter what we've done from the beginning, is the same until that moment when that happens to us.
Yeah,
Yes,
and it could still happen for you guys continually, and I see it very likely happening, because Use Falling Reverse is a perfect example. Remember seeing them play live at the end of 2022 in a venue that maybe holds 2,500, and now they're going to be coming around and think like their next show is Chicago that's near me in September, and they're playing at a venue that's outside that can hold 10,000 plus, headlining too, and it's just like they just keep going, they just keep growing. Catch Your Breath keeps going. Catch Your Breath keeps growing. Do I see a similarity here? Maybe.
We'll see. We'll see.
That's the goal for sure.
That's the goal, and you guys are well on your way to achieving that goal. But I got one more question I want to ask you guys, and it's something I love to ask every single band, and I'm making sure I got you guys. So 1, 2, 3. I've got 3 of you. I'm looking for 1 from each of you guys. So between the 3 of you, can you name me 3 bands or artists that you love that you would love to see other people get into right now?
I can go first on that one. I've been, like I said before, I've been on that indie rock grind. So the band Camino was a really good band that seems to have figured it out for themselves as well, as far as like their formula of songwriting. So for some reason, everything they put out is just a banger to me. So if you like something a little bit different, not so in your face all the time, but still has flavor, they're a good band to check out.
Damn, dude, I'm going to show this to my girlfriend, and she's going to be like, oh my God, you're talking about the band Camino? She absolutely loves them. So I'm like, okay, we got something going here.
Yeah.
Oh, Nell's onto something. Trust me.
Talking about a indie vibe, I was one of my favorite bands ever. They don't get anywhere near as much recognition as I think they should. They're called From Indian Lakes. Check them out.
You me that.
Yeah, and I'm drawing a blank on that one band I really was raving about before. They played on Shiprock with us. What were they called? They like had such a unique sound. Crap. Oh,
Highly Suspect.
What was it?
Well, no, I don't think it was Highly Suspect, right?
Not Highly Suspect. No, they're so groovy and like kind of heavy, but the singer had a voice kind of like the dude from the Killers or Muse, with really high pitched. It's really, oh no, you're gonna have to edit this because I'm so drawn a blank. Sliders Prevail is putting out a new song soon. Sounds fucking awesome. I'm excited for that. I mean, I'll have to come back to you with that one band. But Teddy, how about you?
So yeah, well, Teddy goes, look up the Shiprock lineup and let me know.
Yeah. What are they called?
Probably my boy Arankai or Oscar from Archers. His artist profile, Arankai. It's very different. Not very different, but it's like it's good. Like he does what he does really well, and yeah, and I think he deserves way more love than
He dropped a song a couple months ago.
Yeah, he dropped a song. He drops songs regularly, which is helping him, really well. But he just did a song with Versus Me, the Blackout, and that he killed it. Yeah, I would say that's someone that deserves way more recognition.
So anytime I hear a suggestion that's connected to archers, I'm like, I have to put another one up on the scoreboard because I think archers are, well, now we got this second most like mentioned band whenever I ask this question.
Mm-hmm.
The first one is your label mates on Thriller with Honey Revenge.
No.
Well,
Yeah.
Well, Keenan, you got it for me?
Dead Poet Society.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, those guys are so fucking cool. It's one of the most unique bands around right now, I'd say, and go check them out. You won't regret it.
I have to agree, too, because if you want more on Dead Poet Society, did an interview with them back in January before the release of their album this year, so yeah,
Sick.
You get to check it out, too. Haha, I got you covered even more than that, so woo! Well, guys, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on the podcast once again. I always enjoy bringing you guys on. And now we're going to end this episode with three things. First things first, when it comes to Catch Your Breath, when it comes to the deluxe edition of Shame Me coming out on September 27th, when it comes to going and seeing them play in support of Dayseeker, making you cry before Dayseeker has the chance to, or if you're in Europe, seeing them on their headlining run in 2025 and helping these guys get dial tone to gold status by the end of the year. Go to the description of the podcast where it says find Catch Your Breath online. Links labels are down there for everything. So you're not going to want to miss out on them. You're going to find everything you need for them down there. Go support these guys. Trust me, it's well worth it. You need to do this. Like, seriously, you need to do this. Now it's time for number 2. Guys, I made promise to you on the past podcast where whenever I saw you first rounds on me and I could not find you the first time. Second time, haven't found you since at a show because sometimes you guys are in the back, I'm in the pit, I get sweaty, shit happens. I still owe you guys 2, now it's 3. So if for some random reason you hear a random knock on your bus when you guys are in Chicago and you hear a guy yell, "It's the beer man," it's just me.
Fuck yeah, dude.
Drink beer, but I'll do tequila.
God damn it, I gotta bring a tequila bottle too.
I'll rock with him.
Beer anymore.
Joke's on you, Teddy. I like tequila. I've got like 6 bottles here, and my brother's fiance is like, "Well, what do you want for your birthday this year?" I'm like, "I haven't thought about that yet." Well, if I just get you another bottle of tequila, would you take that? Yup.
Now I know what to ask for my birthday.
Yep. And now step number 3, guys, I cannot end this episode by saying goodbye. I still have to make good on those promises. And I mean, my God, I'm bringing you guys back on every chance I get. And it's always a pleasure with you guys. So thank you. And as always, I'll see you later.
See you later, man.
Woo! Well, folks, I'm interviewing with the guys from Catch Your Breath. Now let's go to Kevin's final thought. And I mean, every time I have this band on, they just keep growing and growing and growing and growing and growing. When I first had them on, they had just signed to Thriller. They had not even really gone out on the road yet. And dial tone had just become a thing. Then I interviewed them before the release of Shame on Me, and the band just kept growing. Now look at where they are. They're going to be supporting Dayseeker in front of, 3,000 people a night. Then they're going to be headlining a European run. Then they also have the deluxe edition of the album coming out, and there's going to be more new music coming on the way. So this is incredible. Plus, when Onel had talked about how he's taking drum lessons to even better his craft to make sure that he's continually getting better and the band is continually working to improve and grow, that's the sign of a band that's going to keep going, keep growing, a band that you're not going to want to miss out on because they're going to understand what makes their music great. They're going to understand how to make it even better, and they're going to understand what they need to do in order to continue making this massive emotional connection they do with their audience. They absolutely do it every single time, and I love bringing these guys on the podcast. They're fantastic. So thank you guys once again for joining. When it comes to Catch Your Breath, go to the podcast below. Links, labels for everything are going to be down there, so be sure to catch them on the Dayseeker run. If you're in Europe, catch them when they're headlining. Otherwise, check out the deluxe edition of Shame on Me with the 2 songs that are out now and the one that's going to make you absolutely cry when it releases on September 27th. So go and check it out. Also, be sure to follow us on the Chord Progression Podcast. We're on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Links to the podcast below. Hit subscribe on YouTube right down here. Hit the follow button on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Also, be sure to like these episodes and push them in the algorithm. Thank you, boys. Always a pleasure. On that note, that's going to be it, everybody. Thank you for listening to the Chord Progression Podcast. My name is Kevin, and you guys know how every single episode is a big, healthy, and hearty. See ya!